8 dumbbell exercises that completely transform your body that nobody does. To transform your body, sophisticated equipment or a gym filled with expensive machines are not necessary. The truth is that just a pair of dumbbells and determination are more than enough to develop a great physique. Today you will see 8 dumbbell exercises that will completely change your body and that most people ignore, preferring to perform movements on machines that frequently eliminate the need for muscle stabilization and limit the natural range of motion, 2 crucial factors for complete muscle development. Before we begin, please tell us through the comments your name and where you are watching our content from. Exercise 8. Curl and Press. The curl and press is a compound exercise that works practically the whole body in a single movement, with special focus on the arms and shoulders. This exercise combines the traditional bicep curl with shoulder press, allowing you to train 2 large muscle groups in a single movement sequence, saving time and maximizing results. One of the main benefits of this exercise is the increased coordination between different muscle groups, improving functional strength. Additionally, because it's a compound movement, it provides greater caloric expenditure compared to isolated exercises, contributing to fat burning while developing muscles. To execute correctly, begin standing, holding a dumbbell in each hand at your sides, with palms facing forward. Start by doing a bicep curl, flexing the elbows and bringing the dumbbells to shoulder height. Without pausing, slightly rotate your wrists so that your palms face forward and push the dumbbells upward, fully extending your arms above your head. Return in a controlled manner to the starting position, first lowering the dumbbells to your shoulders and then extending your arms. The most common mistakes include using body momentum to lift the weights, excessively arching the back during the press phase, and not completing the range of motion. Keep your core engaged throughout the entire exercise to protect the lumbar spine and avoid using a weight that doesn't allow for controlled and complete execution. For optimal results, I recommend 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions, with a weight that challenges your muscles in the last repetitions, but allows you to maintain impeccable technique. Rest 60 to 90 seconds between sets to allow adequate recovery without compromising training intensity. Exercise 7. Pullover. The dumbbell pullover is a classic but frequently neglected exercise that simultaneously works the chest, the back, primarily the latissimus dorsi, and the core muscles. This unique movement manages to activate both the anterior and posterior trunk muscles, offering excellent value for your training time. Other benefits of the pullover include developing shoulder mobility, expanding the rib cage, and strengthening the respiratory muscles. Historically, this exercise was known as the movement that expands the thorax, being used by bodybuilders to develop a wider rib cage. Additionally, the pullover deeply works the serratus anterior and intercostal muscles, which are difficult to target with other exercises. Executing the pullover correctly is very simple. Lie on a flat bench with only your shoulder blades supported, keeping your glutes slightly off the bench in a gentle bridge position. Hold a single dumbbell with both hands, positioning them on the outer part of the weight, forming a diamond shape with your thumbs and index fingers. Begin with your arms extended above your chest and, maintaining a slight bend in the elbows, bring the dumbbell in a controlled arc behind your head until you feel a good stretch in your chest and back. Use your chest and back muscles to return the dumbbell to the starting position. The most common errors are excessively bending the elbows, transforming the movement into a triceps extension, not keeping the core engaged, and using a weight that's too heavy, which compromises the range of motion. Focus on feeling the stretch and contraction of the target muscles, rather than just moving the weight. Perform 3 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions, using a moderate weight that allows for controlled execution. Exercise 6. Single Arm Dumbbell Row. The Single Arm Dumbbell Row is one of the most effective exercises for developing the back, correcting muscle imbalances, and improving posture. By working one side at a time, you can identify and correct strength inequalities between the right and left sides, something common even among experienced athletes. The benefits of this exercise go beyond simple muscle development. The single arm row strengthens the entire posterior chain, including the latissimus dorsi, rhomboid, trapezius, and spinal erectors. Being unilateral, it requires greater core stabilization, transforming a simple back exercise into a complete trunk workout. Additionally, this movement helps correct the typical posture of those who spend too much time sitting, strengthening exactly the muscles that tend to weaken with sedentary lifestyle. To execute correctly, position one knee and the hand of the same side on a bench, keeping your spine parallel to the floor. The opposite leg should be extended on the ground for stability. Hold the dumbbell with your free hand, letting your arm fully extend. Keep your shoulder retracted and pull the dumbbell toward your hip, keeping your elbow close to your body. Control the movement on the descent, allowing a slight stretch in the back muscles before starting the next repetition. The most common errors include excessive trunk rotation during the movement, letting the shoulder drop forward in the initial position, and using momentum to lift the weight. Remember that the row should be a controlled movement where you pull with your back, not with your arms. The arms are just levers, while the back muscles should do the real work. For complete development, perform 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions for each side, alternating sides with each set to ensure adequate recovery. Try to identify a weight that allows you to maintain perfect technique until the last repetition, but is challenging enough to stimulate muscle growth. Before we continue to number 5, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to correct and science-based information is what will make you progress in the long term in the bodybuilding world. Exercise 5, Farmer's Walk. The Farmer's Walk is an extraordinary functional exercise that simulates the simple everyday activity of carrying weight, and is enough to offer extensive and surprising benefits for the entire body. We can highlight the strengthening of the core in a functional and dynamic position, development of the forearm and grip strength, improvement of muscular endurance, and enhancement of stability when walking under load. This exercise is also exceptional for improving posture, as it requires you to maintain correct alignment under tension. Additionally, because it involves a large amount of muscle mass and is cardiovascular in nature, it burns many calories and can be an excellent component for weight loss programs. This is one of the simplest exercises to perform. Hold a heavy dumbbell in each hand at your sides, maintaining an erect posture, shoulders back and down, chest elevated, and looking ahead. Engage your core as if you were about to receive a punch in the stomach. Walk in a straight line for a determined distance or time, maintaining impeccable posture throughout the entire route. Steps should be deliberate and controlled, without excessive body swaying. The most common errors include shrugging the shoulders toward the ears, which overloads the trapezius and neck, excessively arching the back, compromising the lumbar region, and holding your breath. You should maintain natural breathing, relaxed shoulders down, and the core always engaged. To effectively implement this exercise, you can work with distance or time. An effective approach is to perform 3 to 4 sets of 30 to 45 seconds of walking, or 65 to 100 feet, with 60 to 90 seconds of rest between sets. Many people underestimate how much they can carry in this exercise, so seek to challenge yourself regarding weight. A good parameter is to use dumbbells that together represent about 50 to 70% of your body weight, adjusting according to your experience. Exercise 4, Single-Arm Dumbbell Bench Press. The single-arm dumbbell bench press is an extremely effective variation of the traditional bench press, which brings unique benefits for muscular and functional development. As the name suggests, this exercise involves pressing a single dumbbell with one arm at a time, while the other arm can remain extended laterally or supported on the bench. Now you might be thinking, but why on earth would I do the bench press with just one arm at a time? There are several reasons for this. The first is core activation. Unlike the bilateral bench press, the single-arm bench press creates a rotational force that your body needs to resist, deeply engaging the obliques and transverse abdominal muscles. Another crucial benefit is the correction of muscle imbalances. Many people have a dominant side that ends up compensating for the weaker side in bilateral exercises. The single-arm bench press forces each side to work independently, exposing and correcting these asymmetries. Over time, this leads to more harmonious development and reduces the risk of injuries caused by imbalances. The reduced load on the joints also deserves highlighting. The single-arm bench press allows a more natural trajectory of the shoulder during the movement, reducing stress on the glenohumeral joint. For people with a history of shoulder pain, this can be a much more comfortable alternative to the traditional bench press with a barbell. To execute correctly, it's practically the same principle as the traditional bench press. Lie on a flat bench and hold a dumbbell in one of your hands and position it next to your chest, with the elbow forming approximately 45 degrees in relation to the trunk. The free hand can rest on the side of the bench for stabilization. Push the dumbbell upward until your arm is completely extended, keeping your wrist stable and your elbow in a natural trajectory. Lower the weight in a controlled manner to the starting position and repeat. Among the common errors are excessive trunk rotation during the movement, letting the hip rotate to the side opposite to the working arm, and using a weight that's too heavy, which compromises stability. I recommend 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions for each arm, alternating sides with each set. Exercise 3. Dumbbell Swing. The dumbbell swing is an adaptation of the traditional kettlebell swing, using a dumbbell as the implement. This explosive exercise works practically the entire body, with emphasis on the posterior chain, glutes, hamstrings, and lower back. One of the main benefits of the dumbbell swing is the development of hip power, fundamental for practically any athletic activity, from running and jumping to lifting heavy objects. This is a particularly ignored foundation by many weightlifting practitioners. The fact that this exercise significantly strengthens the posterior thigh and glutes benefits people who spend the day sitting, as these tend to be problematic areas for this audience. Additionally, because it's a movement that combines strength and speed, it provides an excellent metabolic stimulus, increasing caloric burn during and after the workout. To execute correctly, stand with your feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, holding a dumbbell with both hands in front of you. Initiate a hip hinge movement, pushing your glutes back while maintaining a neutral spine and slightly flexed knees, lowering the dumbbell between your legs. From this position, thrust your hips forward forcefully, contracting your glutes and using this hip power to swing the dumbbell up to chest or shoulder height. Allow the dumbbell to descend naturally as you return to the hinge position, creating a continuous pendular movement. The most common errors include using your arms to lift the dumbbell instead of hip strength, excessively flexing the knees, transforming the movement into a squat, and rounding the spine in the low position. Remember that the swing is essentially an explosive hip movement. The arms only guide the weight. They don't actively lift it. To ensure you're executing correctly, verify if you can feel your glutes and hamstrings working intensely. The sensation should be of a powerful hip snap, not a frontal shoulder raise. I recommend 3 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions, allowing your heart rate to partially recover between sets. Start with a moderate weight until you completely master the technique before progressively increasing. A good starting point is a dumbbell that represents approximately 15 to 20% of your body weight. Exercise 2. Crush Grip Goblet Squat. The Crush Grip Goblet Squat is an extremely effective variation of the traditional squat that adds an extra element of tension and muscle activation through the way you hold the dumbbell. The benefits of this exercise are multiple and go beyond the development of the quadriceps, glutes, and hamstrings. The tight grip intensely activates the forearm, shoulder, and chest muscles, transforming an exercise traditionally focused on the lower body into a movement that engages practically the entire body. The position of the dumbbell in front of the body also forces a more erect posture, aiding in the development of the spine, stabilizing musculature, and preventing the common pattern of curving the back during the squat. Another significant benefit is the mobility work in the ankle, hip, and thoracic spine. The weight in front of the body serves as a natural counterweight, allowing many people to reach a greater depth in the squat more easily compared to the squat with a barbell on the back. To execute correctly, hold a dumbbell vertically against your chest, with both hands holding the upper round part of the dumbbell. The crucial difference here is that you should squeeze the dumbbell with maximum force throughout the entire exercise, as if you were trying to crush the metal with your hands. This is actually where the name crush grip comes from. Position your feet shoulder width apart or slightly wider, with your toes pointing slightly outward. Keep your chest up, core engaged, and descend in a squat movement, keeping your knees aligned with your toes. Descend until your thighs are parallel to the ground or lower if your mobility allows, and then return to the starting position, propelling yourself through your heels. The most common errors include relaxing the grip during the movement, raising the heels from the ground, allowing the knees to collapse inward, and letting the chest fall forward in the descending phase. Maintain tension throughout your body during the complete movement, and focus on maintaining a straight line from your head to your tailbone. For optimal results, I recommend 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions and rest 60 to 90 seconds between sets. Exercise 1. Dumbbell Thruster. The dumbbell thruster is an explosive compound exercise that combines a front squat with a shoulder press in a fluid and continuous movement. This full-body exercise challenges both the muscular and cardiovascular systems, making it one of the best options for those seeking efficiency in their training. It works practically all the major muscle groups of the body in a single exercise. quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, core, deltoids, trapezius, and triceps. This extensive muscle activation leads to high caloric expenditure and production of anabolic hormones. Second, it develops coordination and timing between the lower and upper body, improving general athletic capacity. Third, because it's a movement that combines strength and speed, it develops functional power that transfers to various daily and sports activities. To execute correctly, begin standing holding a dumbbell in each hand, positioned at shoulder height, with elbows pointing downward and forward, as in the starting position of a shoulder press. Your feet should be shoulder width apart or slightly wider. Perform a complete squat, maintaining an erect trunk and the dumbbells in position. As you rise from the squat, use the momentum generated by the extension of hip and knee to help push the dumbbells upward in a press movement. Fully extending your arms above your head, lower the dumbbells back to your shoulders while preparing for the next squat, creating a cyclical movement. This exercise can be particularly challenging for the cardiovascular system, so don't be surprised if your heart rate rises significantly, even with moderate weights. This characteristic makes the thruster an excellent option to include in high-intensity circuits, or as a single exercise when time is limited. The most common errors include not descending enough in the squat, using excessive hip momentum, losing the erect posture during the squat, and not fully extending the arms in the upper phase. Remember that, although it's an explosive movement, control and technique should not be sacrificed for speed or weight. For beginners to this exercise, I recommend starting with a lighter weight to master the movement pattern before progressing. For optimal stimulus, perform 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions with a moderate weight, or 3 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions with a lighter weight for a more metabolic focus. Rest between sets can vary from 60 to 120 seconds, depending on your conditioning level and goals. And if you like this approach of effective workouts that most people ignore, we've left a video appearing right now on your screen showing 5 isometric positions that will completely transform the lower part of your body. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching this far, and may God bless you, my friend.